All right, so I put on a little bit more for a couple more reps and finish with the 4 rep max set. Want to just point out a couple things though. This is the ISO bench and lat pull down, but you saw that I was pressing both weights simultaneously. What I do want to point out is that you can isolate these. That's why they call it the ISO. Okay, it's just kind of a bit of a preference thing. You know, you might get some folks that are, you know, well off into their knowledge of exercise and weightlifting that might suggest the benefits to lifting isolated, one or the other. Nonetheless, the balance that you have to create whenever you're pressing through, even if you're, pressing simultaneously, you still get those isolated benefits. But again, that's a kind of a push-pull that I just wanted to just point out that you can, on the reverse side as well, pull down and isolate those motions. So just wanted to make sure to pin that. Isolateral incline chest press on this hammer strength equipment. All right. It's feeling pretty doable. We bang out 20 of these. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That'll really wake your upper body up. For the back, I might just squeeze out 15 of these just for time purposes. But I'll kind of fill you in. Been out of touch. And I mean, if there was any reason to be a little out of touch on your fitness routine, it might be because you're planning your mother's funeral. But nonetheless, I think with some of the time I was spending doing karaoke in the evenings to kind of take my mind off of things, I could have come in the gym and knocked out a 60-minute routine or so, or just at least a half hour. But just kind of being doxxed by the end of the day, I would just let karaoke be my outlet, and unfortunately allowed for my resistance training routine to fall by the wayside. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm bringing you guys in here to hold me accountable moving forward, and also to help spread my passion for health and wellness and give people some additional motivation to get out there and get it done, because it's pretty much the most important thing. I mean, money is very important, but you're gonna have a hard time spending it and enjoying it if you have terrible health. And that's actually something that my mother instilled in me at a young age. She was a school teacher, and she would take my brother and I she would call it the spa. She'd go to like the swimming area and do like water aerobics and jump around and things like that, do some swimming, front crawls and stuff, while we would be over in the kids club. She wasn't big on resistance training, but she definitely would like to go to Bally's Total Fitness, if you remember Bally's, and spend a good 60 minutes after work about 3 to 4 times a week. So kind of instilled that in us, and certainly was a good model for making sure you're doing things to be active, maintain your health and wellness. Go ahead and put some work in on this flat bench press. Certainly a classic, certainly a must. I think I'm going to pair this with some pull-ups whenever I go for my superset. So Just kind of getting it going with these 135s. Making sure to just tease the muscle, get it nice and warmed up before we start tacking it on. 2, probably go for 12 to 15. 3, 4, 5, controlling all the way down. 6, if you want to explode up, that's fine. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm forgetting that shit, right? Go ahead and do these pull-ups for a superset. I'm gonna stick my thumbs right where the bar breaks. Okay, and I'm gonna stretch my thumbs out as far as I can go, and that's where I'm gonna start my grip to kind of balance things out. And I'm gonna try to snatch up about 5 of these. I've never been very strong on these at all. I get to 5 the way I feel right now. That'll be great. My right shoulder's giving me some trouble right now. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I don't know where I'm feeling this sensation from on my right shoulder. I jumped into the pool. I told y'all I was taking some time off. I jumped into the pool and I put my hands down and just kind of jumped in, and, about 3.5 feet of water. And I kind of felt something get jammed up, but at the same time, it's probably more or less me just being out of motion when it comes to especially putting, this this massive torso, this trunk, this heavy trunk that needs to shave off a good 15, 20 pounds onto the shoulder blade. So I won't see myself doing more than about 5 of those pull-ups. And if I have to tap those out by just doing a tug, standing up, doing another, then we'll just do it like that. But yeah, I definitely felt some stress, some additional stress in this right shoulder. What are you gonna do? Okay, so check it out. I've really been thinking about strength recently. And so, same time, having a sporadic routine, it's hard for me to find someone that I can train with on the regular. However, Hammer Strength seems to know my plight, and they have these bumpers that you can use to where you can get into training heavier weight and not feel like you're going to crush your esophagus or your chest plate. So I think this might be just about right. I probably would have to slither out of a situation if it came down to it. So let's just test it out before I throw some more weight on. But again, these bumpers are designed to kind of have your back. You can use them whenever you squat, or, normally I'll use these to rest the bar on between sets when I'm doing deadlift. But let's see, I think this might be a little too low. I might get into a situation where I might have to slither my way out as opposed to have them be able to stop any percussion. You see how I'm touching my chest, and then if something happened, I'd have to kind of tilt one way or the other to get out of here. So I might go ahead and just raise these bumpers. Now, the fear is, or drawback is, that it might reduce my range of motion, which would be okay. I think a lot of guys, they go too deep in their range of motion. They get beyond that 90 degrees. Who knows? That might be what I've experienced kind of getting in over there on that Hammer Strength equipment, is just going a little too deep, getting back in the swing of things, and might have put a little bit too much tension on this rotator cuff over here. But let's try it out real quick. I think we'll be fine. Because you want to get to 90 degrees. Most guys will bounce the weight off their chest. You see the NFL Combine, they do that, right? But right here, I am probably closer to 80 degrees. This being more closer to 90 degrees right here. So right before you stop, let's see, the thing is too, that's a cheat code. There's a lot of guys who use their chest to get that slight break in the lift and that jolt of momentum to raise the weight, which, depending on how you look at it, could be considered cheating. Again, you want to get down to 90 degrees to prevent injury and also to maintain time under tension throughout the lift. And depending on how long or short your arms are that can change. But I think you find probably 90% of the bench pressing community getting much deeper into that 90 degrees because they're trying to use their chest as leverage to break up the lift, give themselves some momentum on the way up. Makes you feel better, makes you feel like you can lift heavier. But in reality, if you were going to 90 degrees, not having that break with the time under tension and going in and out, you might take a little bit of this off of your lift. So, anyways, that's that. Let's throw 40 more on and try to get to 8. Let's put 2 10s on here. Let's try to get to 8 using these bumpers here. Let's see what we come up with. Checking the microphone there. All right. So we come up with here. Now we want to press all the way up. When you lock out, you don't want to pause too long. Again, that time under tension, but you want to press all the way up to get that full range of motion. And again, we're dropping down to 90 degrees. I don't think these bumpers are going to let us go too much further than that anyway. So let's get it. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. This is gonna be fun. 4. Yeah. All right, such is life. You know, that stinger kind of went away a little bit. I can still feel it, that tension there in the shoulder blade, but just the kind of warming back into things, I feel like it's definitely gone away. That first rep on that last set was like, whoa, what happened? But feeling a little bit better. Sometimes you got to just warm up too, you know? All right, good to go. So hopefully that was, something that you feel comfortable throwing into your workout mix. Maybe you learned something new. Maybe it was refreshing. Maybe it was boring. I don't know. But anyways, did some chest, back, pretty much on 2 different supersets. We did the ISO chest and ISO pull down, and then we also did the flat bench and coupled those with some pull-ups. So again, working a little bit of back, a little bit of chest, doing that in superset form. So now I'm going to go ahead and this quick workout, drop down, get some abs in. I'm going to let Dan, the body coach, be my guide on this. And so what we'll do is we'll plug into his YouTube channel. He has this 7-minute ab routine. It's not too crazy, but it typically gives me a nice little burn. So with the amount of time that I have left, trying to get home, do dinner, all that kind of good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and just knock out 7 minutes. All right. So Dan gonna make us work. I got him plugged in here. We start now. Hopefully this was helpful again. Appreciate you joining me, and I'll see you next time.